Bandeyam Shigara Shiyata Parakamalam Shigaran Vaishnavam Shirupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shirana Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishakam Vitam Scha Om Agyana Timaranda Shagyana Chana Shalakaya Chakshurun Miliram Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namo Gurva Bishtam Supurakam Gurganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shirupa Patanagam Govinamidam Ujvalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Mande Vishwa Gurunsha Divyad Bhagavat Premno Ibijapranam Devam Divyatanum Suchandavaranam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Mandetam Shuvaram Mareka Sharanam Nyashishvara Shridaram Mansha Kopata Rubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavenebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Namo Mahabaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Goratavishe Nama. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. And this is Antya-lila chapter 20, the Shikshastaka prayers. Verse 1. Premon bhavita harsher shod vega dainyarti mishritam lapitam gorachandrasya Bhagavad-bir nishevyate. Only the most fortunate will relish the mad words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which were mixed with jubilation, envy, agitation, submissiveness, and grief, all produced by ecstatic, loving emotions. So since Mahaprabhu is showing sometimes the mood of Srimati Radharani, but instead of the word envy, I would use the word jealousy. Okay. Jaya Jaya Gora Chandra Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Sri Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Emata Mahaprabhu Vaishe Nilachale Rajani Divase Krishna Birohe Bivale. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus resided at Jagannath-puri, Nilachala, he was continuously overwhelmed night and day by separation from Krishna. Swarup Ramanande Duijan Sane Ratridine Rasagita Shloka Ashwadane. Day and night he tasted transcendental blissful songs and verses with two associates, namely Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Raya. Navabhava Ute Prabhur Harsha Shoka Rose Dainyod Vega Arti Utkanta Santosh. He relished the symptoms of various transcendental emotions, such as jubilation, lamentation, anger, humility, anxiety, grief, eagerness, and satisfaction. He relished the symptoms of various transcendental emotions, such as jubilation, lamentation, anger, humility, anxiety, grief, eagerness, and satisfaction. Se bhave nija shloka pariya shlokararta ashwaraye dui banduloya. He would recite his own verses expressing their meanings and emotions, and thus enjoy tasting them with these two friends. Kondine kon bhave shloka patan se shloka shwadite ratri jagaran. Sometimes the Lord would be absorbed in a particular emotion and would stay awake all night reciting related verses and relishing their taste. Harshe Prabhu Kohen Shuna Swarup Ramarai Nama Sankirtana Kalo Parama Upai. In great jubilation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "My dear Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Raya, know from me that chanting the holy names is the most feasible means of salvation in this age of Kali. Now it says the most feasible means for deliverance, but it's parama upai, so the highest. This is the highest activity. Sankirtan yagye kalo Krishna aradan seta sumedapai Krishna racharan. And in this age of Kali, the process of worshipping Krishna is to perform sacrifice by chanting the holy name of the Lord. One who does so is certainly very intelligent, and he attains shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtana Prayar Yajanti E Sumeda Saha. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So, here the word Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam. So the way the word Tvisha Krishnam is, it could be blackish or non-blackish, but it wouldn't make any sense to say Krishna has a blackish complexion in the age of Kali, because we already know the word Krishna refers to a blackish complexion. So Jiva Goswami has said that Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam refers to the Lord who has a golden complexion in this age. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of God, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Nama Sankirtana Hoite Sarva Sarvanartana Sarva Shuvodaya Krishna Premara Ulas. Simply by chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna, one can be freed from all undesirable habits. This is the means of awakening all good fortune and initiating the flow of waves of love for Krishna. Okay. Chaito Darpanam Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Svaranam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Let there be all victory for the chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna, which can cleanse the mirror of the heart and stop the miseries of the blazing fire of material existence. That chanting is a waxing moon that spreads the white lotus of good fortune for all living entities. It is the life and soul of all education. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna expands the blissful ocean of transcendental life. It gives a cooling effect to everyone and enables one to taste full nectar at every step. So that's a translation given by Srila Prabhupada. I'll also read a translation from Golden Volcano of Divine Love by Srila Sri Maharaj of this verse, the first verse of Shikshastaka. Chaito Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratiparam Purnamrita Swaranam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. The holy name of Krishna cleanses the mirror of the heart and extinguishes the fire of misery in the forest of birth and death. As the evening lotus blooms in the moon's cooling rays, the heart begins to blossom in the nectar of the name. And at last the soul awakens to its real inner treasure, a life of love with Krishna. Again and again, tasting nectar, the soul dives and surfaces in the ever-increasing ocean of ecstatic love. All phases of the self of which we may conceive are fully satisfied and purified, and at last conquered by the all-auspicious influence of the holy name of Krishna. Well, that's the first verse of the Shikshastaka. This chapter is called Shikshastaka Prayers. Sankirtana hoite papa samsara nashan chitta shuri sarva bhakti sarana udgam. By performing congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, one can destroy the sinful condition of material existence, purify the unclean heart, and awaken all varieties of devotional service. Krishna Premodgama Premarta Ashwadan Krishna Prapti Sevamrita Samudre Majan. The result of chanting is that one awakens one's love for Krishna and tastes transcendental bliss. Ultimately, one attains the association of Krishna and engages in his devotional service, as if immersing himself or herself in a great ocean of love. The result of chanting is that one awakens one's love for Krishna and tastes transcendental bliss. Ultimately, one attains the association of Krishna and engages in his devotional service, as if immersing oneself in a great ocean of love. Utila Vishada Doinya Pare Apana Shlok Chahara Arta Shuni Sab Jaya Dukkha Shok. Lamentation and humility awoke within Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he began reciting another of his own verses. By hearing the meaning of that verse, one can forget all unhappiness and lamentation. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarvar shaktis tatrarpita niyamita smarane nakala etadrishi tavakripa bhagavan mamapi dordaiva midrishami hajani nanuraga. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarvar shaktis tatrarpita niyamita smarane nakalaha etadrishi tavakripa bhagavan mamapi dordaiva midrishami hajani nanuragaha. My Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, in your holy name there is all good fortune for the living entity, and therefore you have many names, such as Krishna and Govinda, by which you expand yourself. You have invested all your potencies in those names, and there are no hard and fast rules for remembering them. My dear Lord, although you bestow such mercy upon the fallen conditioned souls by liberally teaching your holy names, I am so unfortunate that I commit offenses while chanting the holy name, and therefore I do not achieve attachment for chanting. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarvar shaktis tatrarpita niyamita smarane nakalaha etadrishi tavakripa bhagavan mamapi dordaiva midrishami hajani nanuragaha. O my Lord, your holy name bestows auspiciousness upon all, and you have unlimited names such as Krishna and Govinda by which you reveal yourself. In your many holy names, you have kindly invested all your transcendental potency, and in chanting these names, there are no strict rules concerning time or place. Out of your causeless mercy, you have descended in the form of divine sound. But my great misfortune is that I have no love for your holy name. Aneka lokarabansha, aneka prakar, kripate korila neka namara prachar. Because people vary in their desires, you have distributed various holy names by your mercy. Kaite, shwite, jatatata, namaloi, kaladesh, niyama, nahi, sarva, siddhi hoy. Regardless of time or place, one who chants the holy name, even while eating or sleeping, attains all perfection. Regardless of time or place, one who chants the holy name, even while eating or sleeping, attains all perfection. Sarva Shakti, Nami Dila, Koriya Vibhag, Amara Dordaiva Name, Nahi Anurag. You have invested your full potencies in each individual holy name, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attachment for chanting your holy names. Jai Rupe Loite Nam Prema Upajai, Tahara Lakana Shuna, Swarup Ramarai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, O Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Raya, hear from me the symptoms of how one should chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to awaken very easily one's dormant love for Krishna. Jai Rupe Loite Nama Prema Upajai. O Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Raya, hear from me the symptoms of how one should chant Loite the holy name Prema Upajai, Prema with love of Prema Upajai, so that one's dormant love of Godhead or Prema will awaken. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, O Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Raya, hear from me the symptoms of how one should chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to awaken very easily one's dormant love for Krishna. Trinadapi Sunichena Taroriva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. One who thinks oneself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, but is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. So a good explanation of these Shikshastaka verses is given in Sridhar Maharaj's Golden Volcano of Divine Love. He gives his commentaries on the Shikshastaka, and Srila Govinda Maharaj has said that in itself would be a wonderful reason for reading this Golden Volcano of Divine Love, to hear Guru Maharaj's commentaries on the Shikshastaka. So, Trinadapi Sunichena Taroriva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. One who is humbler than a blade of grass, more forbearing than a tree, who gives due honor to others without desiring it for himself, is qualified to always chant the holy name of Krishna. Uttamahoya apanake mane Trinadam dui prakare sahishnuta kore brikasam. These are the symptoms of one who chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Although one is very exalted, one thinks oneself lower than the grass on the ground, and like a tree, one tolerates everything in two ways. These are the symptoms of one who chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Although one is very exalted, one thinks oneself lower than the grass on the ground, and like a tree, one tolerates everything in two ways. Brikajena katileha kichu nabolai shukaya maileha kore pani na magai. When a tree is cut down, it does not protest, and even when drying up, it does not ask anyone for water. Jai Jai Magai Tare Deya Apanadan Garma Vrishti Sahe Aner Koraye Rakan. The tree delivers its fruits, flowers, and whatever else it possesses to anyone and everyone. It tolerates scorching heat and torrents of rain, yet it still gives shelter to others. Uttamahaya Vaishnava Habe Nirabhiman Jive Samana Dive Jane Krishna Adishtan. Although a Vaishnava is the most exalted person, he is prideless and gives all respect to everyone, knowing everyone to be the resting place of Krishna. Although a Vaishnava is the most exalted person, he is prideless and gives all respect to everyone, knowing everyone to be the resting place of Krishna. E mata hoya je Krishna namaloy, e Krishna charane tara prema upajay. If one chants the holy name of Lord Krishna in this manner, one will certainly awaken one's dormant love for Krishna's lotus feet. Kohite kohite prabhu doinya badila, Shuddha Bhakti Krishna Tai Magite Lagila. As Lord Chaitanya spoke in this way, his humility increased and he began praying to Krishna that he could discharge pure devotional service. Premara Swabhava Jahan Premara Sambandha Semane Krishna Mora Nahi Prema Ganda. Wherever there is a relationship of love of Godhead, its natural symptom is that the devotee does not think himself a devotee. Instead, he thinks that he has not even a drop of love for Krishna. Na dhanam na janam. Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhaktir haituki tvai. O Lord of the universe, I do not desire material wealth, materialistic followers, a beautiful wife, or fruitive activities described in flowery language. All I want, life after life, is unmotivated devotional service to you. Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kapitam va jagadishaya kamaye mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhaktira haituki tvai. O Lord, I have no desires to accumulate wealth, followers, beautiful women, or salvation. My only prayer is for your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. Dhanajana nahi magon kavita sundari Shuddha Bhakti dehomore Krishna kripa kori. My dear Lord Krishna, I do not want material wealth from you, nor do I want followers, a beautiful wife, or the results of fruitive activities. I only pray that by your causeless mercy, you give me pure devotional service to you, life after life. Now here, Sundari is translated as a beautiful wife, because that's the consideration, Kavita Sundari. I don't desire a beautiful wife, but it could be a beautiful girlfriend. Of course, in Vedic culture, the idea of a beautiful girlfriend is not so much prevalent. But, my dear Lord, I do not want material wealth from you, nor do I want followers, a beautiful wife, or the results of fruitive activities. I only pray that by your causeless mercy, you give me pure devotional service to you, life after life. Ati donye puna mage dasya bhaktidan apanare kore samsari jiva abhiman. In great humility, considering himself a conditioned soul of the material world, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again expressed his desire to be endowed with service to the Lord. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitamam vishame bhavambulo kripaya tavapara pankaja stita duli sadrisham vichintaya. O my Lord, O Krishna, son of Maharaj Nanda, I am your eternal servant, but because of my fruitive acts, I have fallen into this horrible ocean of nescience. Now please be causelessly merciful to me. Consider me a particle of dust at your lotus feet. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitamam vishame bhavambulo kripayatava para pankaja stitaduli sadrisham vichintaya. O son of Nanda Maharaj, I am your eternal servant, yet because of my own karma, I have fallen into this terrible ocean of birth and death. Accept this fallen soul and consider me a particle of dust at your holy lotus feet. So even a particle of dust at the Lord's lotus feet is conscious. So, Tomara nityadas mui toma pasarya parijachon bhavarnabe maya badahaya. I am your eternal servant, but I forgot your lordship. Now I have fallen into the ocean of nescience and have been conditioned by the external energy. Kripa kore kora more paradulizam tomara sevaka karun tomara sevan. Be causelessly merciful to me by giving me a place with the particles of dust at your lotus feet, so that I may engage in the service of your lordship as your eternal servant. Puna ati utkanta donya loila udgam Krishna tai mage prema nama sankirtan. Natural humility and eagerness then awoke in Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He prayed to Krishna to be able to chant the Mahamantra in ecstatic love. Nayanam galadashudaraya varanam gadgara rudaya gira pulakar nichitam vapukara tavanama grahane bhavishyati. My dear Lord, when will my eyes be beautified by filling with tears that constantly glide down as I chant your holy name? When will my voice falter and all the hairs on my body stand erect in transcendental happiness as I chant your holy name? Nayanam galadashu daraya varanam gadgara rudaya gira pulakar nichitam vapukara tavanama grahane bhavishyati. O Lord, when will tears flow from my eyes like waves and my voice tremble in ecstasy? When will the hairs of my body stand on end while chanting your holy name? Premadana Bina Vyarta Daridra Jivan Dasha Kori Vetana More Deho Premadan. Without love of God, my life is useless. Therefore I pray that you accept me as your servant and give me the salary of ecstatic love for God. Rasantara Beshe Hoila Biyoga Sfuran Udvega Vishara Doine Kori Pralapan. Separation from Krishna woke various mellows of distress, lamentation, and humility. Thus Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke like a crazy man. Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha prabrishayitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha prabrishayitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. My Lord Govinda, because of separation from you, I consider even a moment a great millennium. Tears flow from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I see the entire world as void. Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha prabhishaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. O Govinda, without you the world is empty. Tears are flooding my eyes like rain, and a moment seems like forever. So even a moment feels like an eternity in separation from Krishna. Udvege divasana jai Krishna hoila yugasam varshara mega praya ashu varishe nayan. In my agitation, a day never ends, for every moment seems like a millennium. Pouring incessant tears, my eyes are like clouds in the rainy season. Govinda virahe shunya hoila tribhuvan Tushanale Pode Jena Najai Jivan. The three worlds have become void because of separation from Govinda. The three worlds have become void because of separation from Govinda. I feel as if I were burning alive in a slow fire. Krishna Udasina Hoila Korite Parikan Shaki Sahakohe Krishna Kora Ubekan. Lord Krishna has become indifferent to me just to test my love. And my friends say, better to disregard him, better to forget him. Iteka chintite radhara nirmala hridoy swabhavika premara swabhava korila udoy. While Srimati Radharani was thinking this way, the characteristics of natural love became manifest because of her pure heart. Irsha utkanta donya prodibinoy etababa ektai korela udoy. The ecstatic symptoms of envy, great eagerness, humility, zeal, and supplication all became manifest at once. Etabave Radharman Ashtira Hoila Sakigana Age Prodi Shloka Jay Padila. In that mood, the mind of Srimati Radharani was agitated, and therefore she spoke a verse of advanced devotion to her gopi friends. Se bhave Prabhu se shloka ucharila shloka ucharite tadrupa apane hoila. In the same spirit of ecstasy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited that verse, and as soon as he did so, he felt like Srimati Radharani. Aslishava pararatam pinashtumam adarshanam marmahatam karotuva yatadata vidadatu lambato matprananatas sa eva na paraha. Let Krishna tightly embrace this maidservant who has fallen at his lotus feet, or let him trample me or break my heart by never being visible to me. He is a debauchee after all, and can do whatever he likes, but he is still no one other than the worshipable Lord of my life. Let Krishna tightly embrace this maidservant who has fallen at his lotus feet, or let him trample me or break my heart by never being visible to me. He is a debauchee after all, and can do whatever he likes, but he is still no one other than the worshipable Lord of my heart. Aslishava pararatam pinashtumam adarshanam marmatam karotuva yatadata vidadatu lambato matprananatas sa eva na paraha. Krishna may embrace me in love or trample me under his feet. He may break my heart by hiding himself from me. Let that debauchee do whatever he likes, but he will always be the only Lord of my life. So this is the last of the 8 verses of the Shikshastaka. And now Mahaprabhu explains this very elevated verse. When we sing the Shikshastaka prayers during the month of Kartik, we don't even sing the verses about the 8th verse of Shikshastaka because it's so elevated. It's the mood of Srimati Radharani. So here I'll read. Ame Krishna Paradashi Teho Rasa Sukarasi Alingiya Kori Atmasata Kibana Deya Darshan Janardan Mora Tanuman Tabuteho Mora Prananat. I am a maidservant at the lotus feet of Krishna. He is the embodiment of transcendental happiness and mellows. If he likes, he can tightly embrace me and make me feel oneness with him, or by not giving me his audience or his darshan, he may corrode my mind and body. Nevertheless, he is the Lord. Nevertheless, it is he who is the Lord of my life. Sakihe shunamora manera nischai kiba anuraga kori kiba dukkha diyamare mora praneshwara Krishna anyanoi. My dear friend, and it's Saki, my dear friend, just hear the decision of my mind. Krishna is the Lord of my life in all conditions, whether he shows me affection or kills me by giving me unhappiness. Chadi anya narigan morabasa tanuman morasobhagya prakata koriya tasavare deya pida amasane kori krida se nari gane dekaya. Sometimes Krishna gives up the company of other gopis and becomes controlled mind and body by me. Then he manifests my good fortune and gives others distress by performing his loving affairs with me. Kibateho lambata shata drishta sakapata anyanari gana koresat moredite manapida mora age kore krida tabuteho mora prananat. Or since, after all, he is a very cunning, obstinate debauchee with a propensity to cheat, he takes to the company of other women. He then indulges in loving affairs with them in front of me to give distress to my mind. Nevertheless, he is still the Lord of my life. Naganiyapana duk sabi banche tarashuk Tarashuka Amara Tatparya More Jari Diyaduka Tarahoila Mahashuka Seiduka Morasuka Varya. I do not mind my personal distress. I only wish for the happiness of Krishna, for his happiness is the goal of my life. However, if he feels great happiness in giving me distress, that distress is the best of my happiness. Jai Narire Vanshe Krishna Tararupe Satrishna Tarina Paya Hoya Duki Muitara Paya Pare Loya Jana Hate Dori Krida Karana Tare Karon Suki. If Krishna, attracted by the beauty of some other woman, wants to enjoy with her but is unhappy because he cannot get her, I fall down at her feet, catch her hand, and bring her to Krishna to engage her for his happiness. Kanta Krishna Kore Rosh, Krishna Pai Santosh, Sukha Pai Tadana Bartsane, Jata Jogya Koriman, Krishna Tate Sukha Pan, Chademana Alpa Sarane. When a beloved gopi shows symptoms of anger toward Krishna, Krishna is very satisfied. Indeed, he is extremely pleased when chastised by such a gopi. She shows her pride suitably, and Krishna enjoys that attitude. Then she gives up her pride with a little endeavor. Senare jiye kene Krishna marma, vyata jane tabu Krishna, kore gara rosh, nija suke manakaj, paruka tara shirebaj. Krishnara Matra Chohiye Santosh. Why does a woman continue to live who knows that Krishna's heart is unhappy, but who still shows her deep anger toward him? She is interested in her own happiness. I condemn such a woman to be struck on the head with a thunderbolt, for we simply want the happiness of Krishna. Jai Gopi Mora Kore Veshe Krishnara Kore Santoshe, Krishna Jare Kore Abhilas, Muitara Gare Jana, Tare Sevam Dashi, Haya Tabimora Sukera Ulas. If a gopi envious of me satisfies Krishna and Krishna desires her, I shall not hesitate to go to her house and become her maidservant, for then my happiness will be awakened. Kushti Viprera Ramani, Pativrata Shiromani, Patilage Koila, Veshara Seva, Stambila, Suryeragati, Jayaila, Mritapati, Tushta Hoila, Mukyatina Deva. The wife of a Brahmin suffering from leprosy manifested herself as the topmost of all chaste women by serving a prostitute to satisfy her husband. She thus stopped the movement of the sun, brought her dead husband back to life, and satisfied the three principal demigods, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. The Aditya Purana, Markandeya Purana, and Padma Purana tell about a Brahmin who was suffering from leprosy but had a very chaste and faithful wife. He desired to enjoy the company of a prostitute, and therefore his wife went to her and became her maidservant just to draw her attention for his service. Because how could the man afford that prostitute? Her name meant that her fee was a diamond. So, Aditya Purana, Markandeya Purana, and Padma Purana tells about a Brahmin who was suffering from leprosy, but had a very chaste and faithful wife. He desired to enjoy the company of a prostitute, and therefore his wife went to her and became her maidservant just to draw her attention for his service. When the prostitute agreed to associate with him, the wife brought her the leprotic husband, the husband with leprosy. When that leper, the sinful son of a Brahmin, saw the chastity of his wife, he finally abandoned his sinful intentions. While coming home, however, he touched the body of Markandeya Rishi, who thus cursed him to die at sunrise. Because of her chastity, the woman was very powerful. Therefore, when she heard about the curse, she vowed to stop the sunrise. Because of her strong determination to serve her husband, the three deities, namely Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar, were very happy, and they gave her the benediction that her husband would be cured and brought back to life. This example is given herein to emphasize that a devotee should engage exclusively for the satisfaction of Krishna without personal motives. That will make one's life successful. Krishna Mora Jivan, Krishna Mora Pranadan, Krishna Mora Pranera Parana, Hridoya Uparidaron, Seva Kore, Sukikaron, Emora Sararahidyan. Krishna is my life and soul. Krishna is the treasure of my life. Indeed, Krishna is the very life of my life. I therefore keep him always in my heart and try to please him by rendering service. That is my constant meditation. Mora Sukh Sevane, Krishna Sukha Sangame, Ateva Deho Denadan, Krishna Mora Kanta Kori, Kohe More Praneshwari, Mora Hoy Dashi Abhiman. My happiness is in the service of Krishna, and Krishna's happiness is in union with me. For this reason, I give my body in charity to the lotus feet of Krishna, who accepts me as his loved one and calls me his most beloved. It is then that I consider myself his maidservant. Kanta Seva Sukapura Sangama Hoite Sumadura Tate Saki Lakmi Takorani Narayana Riddhi Stiti Tabupara Sevayamati Seva Kore Dashi Abhimani. Service to my lover is the home of happiness and is more sweet than direct union with him. The goddess of fortune is evidence of this, for although she constantly lives on the heart of Narayan, she wants to render service to his lotus feet. She therefore considers herself a maidservant and serves him constantly. E Radhara Vachana Vishuddha Prema Lakana Ashwadaye Shri Gorarai Bhavimana Nahistira Satpike Vyapi Sharira Manadeho Dhananajai. These statements by Srimati Radharani show the symptoms of pure love for Krishna tasted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In that ecstatic love, his mind was unsteady. Transformations of transcendental love spread throughout his entire body, and he could not sustain his body and mind. Brajara Vishuddha Prema Jina Jambunara Hema Atma Sukera Jahanahi Ganda Se Prema Janate Loke Prabhu Koila Eshloke Pare Koila Arte Nirbanda. The pure devotional service in Vrindavan is like the golden particles in the river Jambu. In Vrindavan, there is not a trace of personal sense gratification. It is to advertise such pure love in this material world that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has written the previous verse and explained its meaning. The verse referred to here is the 8th verse of the Shikshastaka that we read the explanation of. Emata Mahaprabhu Bhava Vishta Hoya Pralapa Korila Tat Shloka Padiya. Thus overwhelmed by ecstatic love, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke like a madman and recited suitable verses. Okay, so tomorrow we'll continue. So we heard all the 8 verses of the Shikshastaka. Still, the chapter continues, and then we'll also concludes a summary of the whole includes also a summary of all the chapters of the Antya-lila. So, continue with that reading tomorrow. Of course, you won't be here, but you can tune in.
I'll be flying.
But you don't fly before 10 o'clock in the morning.
It's true.
Okay. Oh. Can turn this off for a minute. Okay, it's off. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Janavaya Maravaya Keshavaya Nama Gita-Govinda Ram Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Janardana Shiva Sari Gora Bhaktivedanta Seva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raguna Ekaya Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, So today is also the disappearance day of Bhakti Chandan Parvat Maharaj. The most beautiful, nice Vaishnava that one can find. And also it is the day of Raghunath Das Goswami's festival of Jira, or chip rice as it's translated. It's actually more like rice flakes that are that was made, the festival in Panihati for Lord Nityananda Prabhu and his followers. And everyone came and took that chip rice. Vikara Shishi Guru Ranga Gandharvika Giridhari Jo Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Tilak Niyari Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Manamansa Paravajaka Ashtatara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Jayadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Manamansa Paravajaka Charya Ashtatara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Jayadev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivedanta Thakur ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath-vallabha-nataka Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga ki jai. Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhattadash Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Premasigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasri Shri Gaura Bhaktivedanta ki jai. Vishwavaranya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Kusham Ashram Maharaj ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Shri Navadip Dham ki jai. Shri Mayapur ki jai. Saparshda Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Saparshda Shriman Mahaprabhu ki jai. Shri Kaladev ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai. Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram ki jai. Ganga Devi ki jai. Tulasi Madharani ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Sham Kunda Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo ki jai. Shri Purushottam Dham ki jai. Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Jo ki jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Shri Nrsingadev ki jai. Bhakta Prabhata Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Jai Shri Bhakti Raman Madhav Maharaj ki jai. Sri Devabandhu Prabhu ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.